Christina Miles. Christina is a native Californian and was basically raised at the beach. Since the day she played with finger paints, clay, and other art mediums when she was a child, she has not stopped trying to find the perfect mix for her. She has always loved the outdoors and takes pictures everywhere she goes. She is married to a sailor and has 2 young men. Over the years, she has explored many art forms. She is one who loves just about any type of artwork. In college, she took photography, sign painting, silk screening, and learned to paint all on her own. Today, she enjoys acrylic pouring, mixed media, watercolor, and of course, photography and digital graphics. Many of her pieces are inspired from her own photos and her friend in New York. She is well known for her unique handcrafted jewelry and her whimsical art dolls, which are created from repurposed wine corks. I would love that as a wine drinker. She has 3 works of art jewelry in the Somerset magazine. She was involved in an auction on Facebook and sold every one of her dolls. Her artwork is currently displayed in the Vacaville Art Gallery and Happy Pottery Shop in Benicia. Welcome, Christina.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. Thank you so much for asking me to join you. I appreciate this.
Yeah, well, we loved having you for the summit, so why not for the retreat too?
Yeah. Thank you.
So I know I just shared your bio, but we would love to learn a little more about you. Can you tell us one thing that is unique about you?
Well, I think one of the things that's kind of unique about me, I don't know, there's other ladies like me. In fact, one of my coworkers is kind of like, we were raised in similar environments. And I was basically raised in a garage with my father. So I was like his second son. I'm the middle girl of 3 of us. And my brother is younger than I am. But whenever my brother wasn't around, there was me. So I was always in the garage with my dad, tinkering with his race Jeep. So I've been exposed to so many things with that, with working on cars and just doing anything. And whatever my dad did, I was right there with him. So I think that's probably what helped me along my life in a lot of ways. Both my sisters even have told me, man, I wish I would have learned that. It's like, well, you could have been in the garage with me, but I was the chosen one. So I don't regret it at all. I'm glad that I was exposed to all of that with my dad.
That's wonderful. I know my dad made sure I could do things like change a tire and change oil and things like that. And then I just didn't. I learned it.
Oh. Yeah. In fact, that's how I met my husband, was because I was in the garage helping my dad out with his race Jeep. And my husband moved in across the street from us to move in with, my neighbor. And he would come over and just to see what my dad was doing. And he's like, oh, I'd like to meet that cute little girl. I'm like, thanks a lot, But that's kind of how we met, was in the garage of my dad's, And so that's a, important part in our life.
I love that. I love that. So can you tell me what healing with creativity means to you?
Well, it actually means a lot. When 3 years ago, when my husband was, he had a stroke, he had an aneurysm, and he's 1% of 1% who survived without any kind of deficits. You wouldn't even know he had a stroke. And during the healing process, he took 4 months to heal, which really is not very much time. But I got to sit down with him a little bit, and we played with some paints, and I did most of the playing, but he told me what to do. And so that kind of helped him recover, I think, during that time period, because it helps with that. And I've had other experiences in my life where, when you're upset or something and you just go in there and you just draw and you scratch and scribble and do whatever. And it just kind of feels good when you're done. And it's like, oh, my anger's over. Woo, I feel good now, So it has this emotional part that it helps you with.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. Yeah. I love that. It's so true. So
Yeah,
true.
it really is. It makes a big difference in life, I think.
Yeah. And I think it's a gentle way of opening up to things, right? So if
Yeah,
you're angry or you're upset about something or you're sad or even if you're happy, it's just a gentle way to sort of dig into it.
yeah, exactly. And I don't create every day because I'm a busy person, but I like to at least, I go in my room, I have a craft room. I don't know if you can see the background here. That's the cleanest part of this room, okay? And
You can't see the rest of my room, so
no, I know I have my camera positioned like this on purpose,
yeah.
okay? So, so, and I actually have two rooms in my house that are all mine, and a little section that's just watercolor stuff. I have it in the living room because my husband gave me the idea, and I said, "You're in trouble now because that's my table and I'm taking over." So, so it has all my watercolor stuff on there because it's really nice lighting and the sun shines through during the evening, and so it kind of makes it a nice, peaceful place aside from my cats running around. And yeah, so it's my space.
Yeah. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. So, how would you say you use creativity to tap into your intuition or your soul being?
I have had experiences with like when I will speak in my mind, like, okay, what am I doing today? What do I want to do? And sometimes it'll just pop in my head. And you're like, where did that come from? And I always, and for instance, my dolls, I love my art dolls. I don't know if you've seen them, my cute little artsy dolls. And
Mm-hmm.
these, yeah. And so a lot of times when I put them together, I don't know what I'm going to do. And um, they just pop in my head, and I'll have an idea, but it always changes. And it's like that even with my paintings. I know what I want to do. Putting it down, it just completely comes out different sometimes. So I really feel that that I don't always create the piece. That there's something else there that helps me create the piece.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so true. And being open to that, right? Not forcing
Yes.
forcing it to be what you want it to be. Being open to letting that flow, I think is so important.
Yes, because it won't look good if you force it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I've discovered, that you have to go with the flow. You have to. You have no choice, because you will have an ugly piece if you force it. You're like, ew, you know. But I have had, when I make my dolls, I've had one person in particular, she told me when I made her doll that I was to ask it questions throughout the process. And I thought, wow, I've never done that before. And so I would ask it, what color do you want to be? Blue. Oh, jeez, you know, it was a really a different experience. And so I do that more and more now. And you really get an answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's pretty
You
neat.
listen, you do.
You do, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool experience once you're open to it. It really has a whole different feel of your artwork changes.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So, can you share a little bit about what you're sharing today?
So what I'm going to do, well, it's called Going in Circles. And I actually thought of this painting like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, because life right now, we're just like spinning, right? We're stressed out. We don't know what's going to happen. And this pandemic has really gotten us all kind of loopy. And I've talked to my coworker, and she's got the same thing going. And so the painting I'm going to show you is this one here. You can put it however you want, this way or this way or this way. And so we're going to do nothing but circles. And so the big circle is what contains all these little circles. So all of this stuff outside is what is going on in your life. And it just, and that, at least that's how it is with my life right now. And so I decided that, you know, why not contain all of these circles, because it's so stressful, and just kind of bring them in and don't let them drive you crazy. You have to be able to come to something, you know, you have to come to an understanding with these groups of things that are happening in your life and just let them mellow out somehow. And that was my take on this.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's get started and we'll all join in. So that's great.